What time is it? It's Trinity time. That's right, time for another Trinity video, getting you ready to meditate with us on Wednesday nights. This week, our energy is compassion. Compassion is a large energy, covers a lot of ground. We're going to focus on just a basic part of it. Basically, compassion is connecting, joining with a person's strengths and gifts instead of trying to make up for their flaws and weaknesses. That's where we get it all confused. We think compassion is this bleeding heart sort of thing where you rush in and you make up for the fact that they can't do this thing and you take care of them, and it's ugly. It stifles a person's growth to try and be compassionate for them in this way, because you just hold them in this picture of how incompetent and unable they are. It's far more compassionate to look past what a person can't do or be and connect to what they can do or be, strengthening that, drawing that out of them through that joining. That's true compassion. A very easy way to practice that in the real world is to take a self-defense concept that has been around forever. It's in many, many martial arts, but I like to emphasize it in any sort of class that I teach. If you're in trouble, and I've said this a million times, your hands should be up. Any self-defense situation, your hands are supposed to be between you and your opponent. But more importantly than that, you don't want to stand right in the middle. You don't want to face them exactly square on. If possible, you want to be slightly to one side. Because if I'm going to hit you, bam, bam, both of these hands can arrive equally quick if you're right there in the middle. But if you're over to one side, then yes, this hand is going to get there a little quicker, but number one, it doesn't have much travel in it anymore. If you're going to get hit by a Mack truck, it'd be better if it only had an inch to build up speed, right? You don't want it going for 2 miles to get the top speed before it hits you. So move to one side. I like the right side. Most people are right-handed, but you know, if you guess wrong and they're left-handed, it doesn't matter that much. But move a little bit. Step to one side or the other. When you're talking to somebody and it's starting to become a confrontational situation, number one, get those hands up. Talk with your hands. Keep your hands in front of your face. Maybe even just simmer down now. Keep your hands up. But number two, don't stand right square to them. Ease over to one side. You can keep talking to them. Just don't be right there in front, because now you've stacked the odds in your favor. Instead of both of those punches being able to reach you at the same time, you move to one side, and this one's got a long way to travel. So you're going to have plenty of time to take care of it. This one's got a short way to travel, but you know that it's coming, right? If you move in close, you know that that's the only thing you really have to worry about. So instead of dividing your focus two ways, you now have only one thing to really worry about. And that punch that you're close to is not going to have a lot of travel time. It's going to be easy for you to smother it and keep that at bay while you do something about this other thing. It's a simple self-defense hack, but you can bring it into your daily life by thinking in terms of this person has a gift and a flaw. Gift, flaw. They usually try and make up for their flaw with their gift. If you encounter a bully, their flaw is that they don't feel very loved. They have low self-confidence. They think of themselves as a bad person and they want to take that out on the world. Their gift is probably that they're kind of strong and big, and they've used that gift to make up for the flaw their whole life. So what you want to do is zero in on the gift. Say, oh wow, you're really strong. Is there any way we can join in that? I have actually gotten out of fights by challenging the bully to an arm wrestling competition. It's like, oh, you think you're strong? He's like, yeah. And suddenly we're arm wrestling instead of punching each other. Why? Because I called on the gift that he was very proud of. Join with the person's gift instead of fighting their flaw. Move away from that flaw. Whatever they're weak in, whatever they're needy in, whatever they feel insecure and lash out at people because of, Stay away from that. Don't try and make up for it. Don't say, oh, I heard you don't feel very loved. Let me make that worse by pointing it out. Don't do that. Don't do that. Say, oh, wow, you're pretty strong. I'd like to join you in that. And move closer to their gift. Join with the gift by simply positioning yourself a little closer. When you think in your mind, this person has two things going for them. They're strong in one area, they're weak in another. One's a gift, one's a flaw. Step towards the gift. Every time you're talking to somebody, pick a side. Imagine that it's their gift side. That's why I always like the right side, because it's usually the stronger side, the more accomplished side. It represents their gift. Step towards it just a little bit. Just keep the conversation going, but move a little bit towards the gift side. This will get into your head that you should join with the person's gift instead of trying to handle their flaw. If you have people in your house and they're not very unified, then that's the flaw. But maybe they all love service. So instead of saying, hey, let's do something together, say, hey, I've got a service project. We can each do our part at different times. Who wants to join in service? You'll probably get more response by calling on their gift than pointing out their flaw and trying to make them do something about it. If you think this stuff's useful, you should stay tuned for more Trinity.